I'd like to apologize for the lengthy delay. We had a lot of personnel issues that we had to go over. We actually had to call an employee in. That was the long delay. We appreciate your patience and waiting. Go ahead.
Are you gonna talk with her? Huh? Well, we'll just continue on with everything. Do we have?
Let me go ahead and do personnel while I'm here.
Okay, what I say.
Go ahead and do the personnel while I'm here. Need approval to reappoint John DeBilliter as county treasurer at a 6/8 rate of pay, including longevity effective July 1st, 2015. Need approval to terminate. Yeah, go ahead and vote.
I'm going to second Kenneth's motion to appoint. You'll make a motion to reappoint John. I'll second Kenneth's motion.
Roll call, please.
Doesn't,
They wanted to do it first.
John,
yeah, but doesn't the judge have to make the motion?
I think we do, the treasurer,
On the treasurer, I think
Okay.
I
we do.
believe.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Teskins?
Yes.
Well, we have an employee, Johnny Little, is retiring due to his position is going to be, he's not being terminated, but his position is going to be terminated effective July 31st of this year. And also need to terminate Christian Hamilton effective July 1st, 2015 due to budgetary reasons. That's it for now.
Is that judge's recommendation?
Yes, that's the judge's recommendations.
I'll make a motion to that.
It has to be your motion, Judge.
Do I have a
That one-
second?
That one I know does. Who's,
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Teskins?
Yes. John, do we have a motion on this, or you want to read this, or would you put it in on?
Be a second reading, Judge, and then it would take a motion, second, majority vote.
John Doug, will you give us a
Second
reading on the
Occupation.
proposed occupational tax?
Yes, Judge, this is a second reading, the occupational license fee/tax for Pike County. It's an ordinance related, and I'm going to read this in summary form, as the court and many others are aware. I took about a half hour and read it in its entirety on the first reading. I'm therefore going to do this in summary form. It's an ordinance relating to the imposition and administration of an occupational license requirement and payment of an occupational license fee/tax by persons and business entities conducting businesses, occupations, and professions within the county of Pike, Kentucky. It does impose a 1% occupational tax and a 1% net business profits tax. The 1% occupational tax would be on gross wages. It has the following sections contained therein. Number 1, definitions. Number 2, license application required. Number 3, occupational license tax payment required. 4, apportionment. 5, employers to withhold. 6, returns required. 7, extensions. 8, refunds. 9, federal audit provisions. 10, administrative provisions. 11, information to remain confidential. And by the way, Judge, in response to whether or not those records would be open, that is a requirement of Kentucky law that those do be kept confidential. Number 12, penalties. Number 13, use of occupational license tax. Number 14, severability. Judge, that is the second reading in summary form. It would require a motion, a second, and a majority vote of this court in order to pass.
Do I have a motion? If we have no motion, we'll go on to other further business.
Judge, I might say the next item on the agenda was a proposed first reading of a amendment to that ordinance. It not having passed, there is no need to call that first reading, and that just needs to be passed over. Actually, there were two first readings of two proposed ordinances, and those just need to be passed over, Judge.
All right, adoption of a resolution granting an easement to the city of Pikeville over that portion of Fords Branch Road known as the Smiley Fork Road, formerly CR 1267BB, for installation of a water line to serve the Marion Branch Industrial Park. I need a motion.
Let me read the resolution, if I may, Judge.
Yes, okay.
I'm going to do that in summary form also. It's a resolution regarding easement for use of county right-of-way over, under, and across that portion of Fords Branch Road known as Fords Branch Road CR 2536, known as Smiley Fork Road, formerly CR 1276BB. And the easement is for the Marion Branch Industrial Park water/sewer infrastructure project here in Pike County. The easement itself, I have a copy for your signature, Judge, but it does require that the city shall assume responsibility for restoration of the easement area to a condition equal to or better than the condition existing prior to construction, and shall maintain the area contained in the easement in this same manner. Judge, just by way of brief explanation, that, as I said, this is necessary for the city to proceed with its Marion Branch project. Most of the public knows that is with regard to the two proposed businesses which will locate up on the Marion Branch Industrial Park. Specifically, they need to lay a 10-inch water line down the Smiley Fork Road to the right-of-way of US 23. And I would recommend that the court adopt the resolution.
Motion to adopt.
Need a second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson? Yes. Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes. Adoption of a resolution to support a Homeland Security grant for communication equipment for the Pike County Sheriff's Office and authorization for the judge executive to execute all documents. Lisa, would you explain?
Yes, thank you, Judge. We have actually three items with grants pertaining to grants. One of those is the communication equipment for the Sheriff's Department. And then the next one you'll fall over would be generators for our emergency shelters, which are our senior citizens centers. And then the last one would be for the Humane Society. So all three of those will be covered today, and we're just asking the court to let the judge sign all documents in those applications.
Motion. Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Johnson? Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskin?
Yes. Adoption of a resolution to support of a Homeland Security grant for generators for the Pike County emergency shelters and authorization for the judge executive to execute all documents. Motion, please. Oh, Lisa, would you explain that too?
It's actually just a separate grant, giving the generators to three of the senior citizens. for
Motion.
emergency.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Authorization to pay bounce due PVA from statutory contribution line item. Motion. Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Adoption of a resolution approving the change of control of the cable television franchise. John Doug, would you explain?
Yes, Judge, and now I'm going to yield to Frankie Stacy, who is over our franchise TV people here in the county. What this is, it's a fairly routine thing. The court has done this before, probably a couple of times in the past. The ownership of the cable TV franchise doing business as Suddenlink is transferring ownership to a corporation called Sequel Corporation, and the franchise agreement with Pike County requires this court to approve that transfer of ownership. As I say, as a legal matter, it is fairly routine, and I would recommend that the court adopt the resolution, and I'll yield it, with your approval, Judge, to Frankie Stacy.
Need a motion.
I think, Judge, do you have anything to comment further than what I have, Frankie?
Sequel Corporation already owns Suddenlink,
Okay.
and the new company that Sequel is selling out to is Alltech.
Altus, A-L-T-I-C-E.
So Altus will be the company that is taking control of Suddenlink from Sequel.
Thank you for that.
Other than that, that's all I have.
Now you need a motion.
Need a motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson? Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Approval to execute the 2015 grant application with the Department of Agriculture for the Spay Neutral Kentucky program. I need
It is.
approval to execute the Spay Neutral grant of application. Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dodson?
Yes.
Mr. Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes. Approval for renewal of health, RX, and vision insurance, and approval for pardon? Skip it. All right. Awarding of bids, Frankie Stacy.
Judge, I'd like to present to the court our annual June material bids. We've got 8 of those, and we've also got 3 of our annual flood work bids. The first bid is bid number 25 for 2015 for bituminous hot mix. We've received 1 bid from Mountain Enterprise of Lexington, and a price sheet is attached that shows the price increases from last year on the blacktop. Is recommended to award the bid to that vendor. Next bid is bid number 26 for hardware items and small tools. I received 8 bids: Bartley Hardware of Pikeville, Elkhorn City True Value of Elkhorn, J.D. Westcott and Son of South Williamson, Justice Supply Company of Pikeville, Lowe's of Pikeville, Riverside Supply of Regina, Thompson's Hardware of Zebulon, and Tri-County Hardware of Kemper. As recommended, we award that bid to all the above listed vendors. Bid number 27 is from lubricants. Received 3 bids: Apollo Oil of Winchester, Childers Oil Company of Whitesburg, and Jones Petroleum Services of Pikeville. As recommended, to award that bid to the above listed vendors. Bid number 28 is for off-road diesel. Received 1 bid from Jones Oil Company of Pikeville. Is recommended to award that bid to the above listed vendor. Bid number 29 is for office supplies. Received 3 bids: CNR/Ashland Office Supply of Pikeville, East Kentucky Chemical of Pikeville, and Office Depot of Somerset. and is recommended to award that bid to the above listed vendors. Bid number 30 is for uniforms. Received 6 bids. Aramark Uniform Services of Pikeville, Bluegrass Uniforms of Bowling Green, Riverside Supply of Regina, Siegel Uniforms of Evansville, Indiana, West Virginia Uniforms of Charleston, and Wright's Designs of Jenkins, and is recommended to award that bid to the above listed vendors. Bid number 31 is for concrete. I received 2 bids, the Wells Group of West Liberty and Right Way Ready Mix of Dorton, and is recommended to award that bid to both the above listed vendors. The final material bid is for bid number 32 for operation and maintenance of 4 wastewater treatment plants. Received 1 bid from Wastewater Service and Supply of Varney, and is recommended to award that bid to the above listed vendor. We also have 3 of our annual flood work bids. Bid number 33 is for gabion wire baskets in place. We bid this per cubic yard. Received 12 bids. Double Diamond Contracting of Pikeville, price per cubic yard $170 even. Faith Construction of Pikeville, $150. Hall's Construction of Pikeville, $150. Mako Energy of Whitesburg, $155. Norson Enterprise of Freeburn, $150. Pikeville Paving of Raccoon, $190. Prater Construction of Pikeville, $200. Steve Francis Trucking of Belfry, $124. Stone Enterprise of Belfry, $160. Twisted Rail Incorporated of Pikeville, $150. Williamson Excavation of Raccoon, $150. And York Smith Construction of Pikeville, $159.50. It is recommended to award the bid to the lowest bidder, which is Steve Francis Trucking, having the lowest evaluated bid price of $124 per cubic yard. And also due to flood work and time constraints to get the work done, that any other bidder that can match the lowest bidder's price be an approved backup bidder. Bid number 34 is for drilled steel retainer in place. We received 2 bids. One is from King Creek Drilling Incorporated of Zoe, Kentucky. Price per linear foot for steel is $28 even. The second bid is from Norson Enterprise of Freeburn. Price per linear foot is $40 per linear foot. It is recommended to award the bid to the lowest bidder, which would be King Creek Drilling Incorporated, who had the lowest bid price of $28 per linear foot, and also due to time constraints and the amount of work that we may have during a flood, that the other bidder could be a backup bidder if he matches the lowest price. The final bid is bid number 35 for grouted riprap in place. This is per cubic yard. Received 13 bids. Double Diamond Contracting of Pikeville, $130. Faith Construction of Pikeville, $60. Hall's Construction of Pikeville, $59. Mako Energy of Whitesburg, $148. Mullins Enterprise of Pikeville, $70. Norson Enterprise of Freeburn, $250. Pikeville Paving of Raccoon, $80. Prater Construction of Pikeville, $200. Steve Francis Trucking of Belfry, $55. Stone Enterprise of Belfry, $137. Twisted Rail Incorporated of Pikeville, $180. Williamson Excavation of Raccoon, $127. And York Smith Construction of Pikeville, $69.49. It's recommended to award the bid to the lowest bidder, who was Steve Francis Trucking, having the lowest bid price of $55 per cubic yard. And also due to time constraints and amount of work, that any other bidder who can match the lowest bidder's price be an approved backup bidder. And that's all my recommendations, Judge.
I need a motion. Motion. Second. Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney?
Yes.
Judge Jeskins?
Yes. Mattress Road Work.
Motion.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Anderson?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Robinson? Mr. Dotson?
Yes.
Mr. Varney? Master Barney? Yes. Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Packets.
Magistrates' comments. Jeff,
Judge, I have no
Packets.
comments.
no comments.
Back of your packet.
Chick,
No,
In the
Leo.
back of your packet.
It's the very back.
Hillman,
Oh,
we recently had the Hatfield McCoy Marathon over my district and Hillman's district, and had over 1,000 runners participate in that. I want to commend the inmates. They came over and cut weeds along that roadway, and me and my road foreman picked up about 7 bags of garbage over in West Virginia. And but they made comments of how clean and how good everything looked, Judge, and I was real proud of that. We just got to keep on this litter stuff. I'm going to preach that every time I get a chance I get. We keep picking up this litter. Thank you.
thank you. Treasurer's business.
Authorize any necessary transfers and interfund transfers to pay the bills, payroll, health, and life insurance.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy? Yes. Master Robinson? Master Dotson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the transfers and interfund transfers previously approved for January 12th, January 21st, February 3rd, February 25th, March 17th, and that's all. Pass over on April to next court meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson? Master Dotson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Acknowledge receipt of the treasurer's January, February, and March financial statements and the financial statement for the third quarter ending March 31st, 2015.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy? Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dotson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Assistant County Attorney, we have the second reading of the Budget Amendment Number 4 for the fiscal year 2014-2015.
Pike County Fiscal Court Budget Amendment Number 4 in summary form, an ordinance relating to the fiscal year 2014-2015 annual budget and amendment thereof. Whereas the Pike County Fiscal Court has realized unbudgeted receipts from the following funds, be it ordained by the Pike County Fiscal Court of the Commonwealth of Kentucky, Section 1, the budget for fiscal year 2014-2015 is amended to increase/decrease the receipts of the general, jail, road, solid waste, LGEA, and maintenance garage fund by a negative $533,164.36. Part A of that is receipts, which will be in the same amount, negative $533,164.36. Part B is appropriations in the total amended amount of negative $533,164.36. That is a second reading, Judge, will require a motion, second, and a majority vote.
Need a motion. Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy?
Yes.
Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dotson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
Pass over the next item. Authorize payment of the expenditure approval list dated June 24th, 2015, and any other utility and telephone bills that are received before the checks are run, plus any other bills that may be presented at the court meeting for payment to end the year.
Motion.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Master Anderson?
Yes.
Master Johnson?
Yes.
Master Murphy? Yes. Master Robinson?
Yes.
Master Dotson?
Yes.
Master Barney?
Yes.
Judge Deskins?
Yes.
I have no further business this time,
All right.
Judge.
Well, comments from the judge, executive comments. I've already talked to much, so,
Wait, Judge, can I say something real quick?
yes.
We're going to have to get together on another meeting
Yes.
soon. I suggest Monday. Jandra, Monday work for everybody?
A work session or a meeting,
No, it's a special session.
special call meeting?
Yes.
Yes. What time Monday, guys, y'all wanna do it? 10 o'clock? So
I'm game.
it will be a regular meeting?
No, it'd be a special call.
Special call.
meeting, yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Let me say, if I may, Judge, in that regard, this court is aware, and others are aware, that we, by law, are required to have a balanced budget by July the 1st. Otherwise, this county shuts down. We can't pay our people, and we can't pay our bills unless we do that. And that session is going to have to take up this issue of coming up with a balanced budget.
Monday at 10 o'clock.
Well, like I started to say there, I've already talked too much, so we'll go into adjournment.
Shouldn't,
Need a motion.
do I
Oh,
need to prepare one for the Monday meeting, reducing cuts and reducing revenue, or what? Because I can't do it just on Monday.
I mean, that's
I would suggest that you get with the deputy judge and the judge and incorporate cuts sufficient to balance the budget.
Okay.
I want to say this, just to be clear, where we're all on the same page. When we're talking about cuts, we're talking about personnel, we're talking about services that we provide for this county. We're talking $1.7 million worth of cuts, and it's not going to be easy. But I'll be prepared Monday to put in front of you all where we got to be, so cuts and services.
Well, I will make a comment now. If we continue on without money, the 1st of July, the county will shut down. And that's the way it'll be, and the state will enter. Now, you're talking about some good taxes. You'll get it when the state takes over. And I make a motion for adjournment.
Can I say one more thing, Judge? I'm sorry, I've sit up here and I've been quiet most of the day. I feel like I need to say this.
Vision then.
I want to first say that I don't think anybody on this court was for a tax. I mean, this was something that this court has sit and worked on a lot over the last several months. And we tried to stress to the people that we was in front of, there was only two ways. One was raise revenue and one was cuts. You know, that being said, you know, I'm still not for going out here and cutting our services that we provide for this county. I mean, I'm for our fire departments and for the sheriff's departments and for our senior citizen centers. So the cuts that we have to make, understand that's where we are with it. So thank you all.
Is there any other comments? If not, I will make a motion to adjourn. Roll call, please.
Master Anderson, Master Johnson.